Welcome to Pharmacology Insights, where we break down complex pharmacology into simple, easy-to-understand concepts. In this video, we're breaking down a major advance in lipid therapy, Plozasiran. In November 2025, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Plozasiran, marketed under the brand name Redemplo, for adults with Familial Chylomicronemia Syndrome. Familial Chylomicronemia Syndrome, or FCS in short, is a rare genetic disorder marked by extremely high triglycerides, often hundreds of times the normal range. These fat particles accumulate in the bloodstream and puts patients at an extremely high risk of acute, recurrent, and sometimes fatal pancreatitis. So how does Plozasiran lower triglycerides in a condition this severe, especially when the underlying problem is genetic? Let's break it down. Under normal circumstances, the body relies on lipoprotein lipase, or LPL, an enzyme that sits on the capillary walls and acts as a lipid digesting machine. It breaks down the triglycerides inside triglyceride-rich lipoproteins, or TRLs, into free fatty acids and glycerol. But in FCS, this machinery is faulty. The condition is usually caused by loss-of-function mutations in genes required for proper LPL activity. When these genes malfunction, the LPL pathway shuts down, and triglycerides rise dramatically. Apolipoprotein C3, or apoC-III, is a small apolipoprotein carried on TRLs. It acts as a powerful brake, slowing down triglyceride metabolism. apoC-III increases triglycerides in three key ways. First, it interferes with LPL. apoC-III sits on the surface of TRLs and interferes with their ability to bind to LPL, so fewer TRLs gets hydrolyzed. Additionally, apoC-III competes with apoC-II, an essential activator of LPL, making the enzyme even less effective. Normally, once TRLs have been partially lipolyzed, they become remnants that are cleared by the liver. This process relies heavily on apoE, which acts like a molecular tag that helps remnants dock onto hepatic receptors like LDLR and LRP1, allowing the entire particle to be pulled inside the hepatocyte. There, the remnants are broken down and cleared from circulation. apoC-III disrupts this interaction by covering the surface of TRL remnants and reducing the ability of apoE to bind to those hepatic receptors. This is where Plozasiran steps in. Plozasiran is a GalNAc-conjugated small interfering RNA. The GalNAc tag directs it straight into hepatocytes by binding the asialoglycoprotein receptor, which is highly expressed on liver cells. Once inside the hepatocyte, Plozasiran is loaded into the RNA-induced silencing complex, or RISC. It guides the RISC to the target messenger RNA, or mRNA that codes for apoC-III. The RISC cleaves and destroys the apoC-III mRNA. Without mRNA, the liver cannot produce apoC-III protein. By reducing apoC-III production, Plozasiran removes the brakes on triglyceride metabolism. TRLs bind to LPL more easily. LPL can hydrolyze triglycerides more efficiently, and the liver can clear TRL remnants more effectively. Together, these changes create a large and sustained drop in circulating triglycerides. The FDA approval was based on the Phase 3 Palisade study. This clinical trial included adults with confirmed familial chylomicronemia syndrome and compared Plozasiran with a placebo. Participants received an injection every 3 months for 1 year. The main goal was to see how much their triglyceride levels changed after 10 months. Patients who received the 25 mg dose of Plozasiran had their triglycerides drop by about 80%. The placebo group saw a reduction of only about 17%. The study also looked at how often people developed acute pancreatitis, a serious and painful complication of FCS. People taking Plozasiran were much less likely to have an episode. In fact, the risk was reduced by about 83% compared with the placebo group. For a disease with no previously approved targeted therapy, these results represent a major clinical breakthrough. For patients with FCS, whose triglyceride levels are often tens to hundreds of times above normal, Plozasiran offers a targeted, effective, and practical therapy. From a pharmacology perspective, Plozasiran highlights the therapeutic potential of RNA interference, altering gene expression to modulate a key protein involved in lipid metabolism. And that's it for today's pharmacology video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more pharmacology content.